The room is relationships. The room is you and me and everyone in America.
What are you talking about?
The room is different cookie cutter from Hollywood.
Yeah, man, you never know. People are very strange these days.
What's going on?
Welcome to The Room Minute.
The podcast where we get obsessed with the cinematic classic The Room.
1 minute at a time.
You have no idea what kind of trouble you're in here, do you?
Why are you so hysterical?
We always wanted people actually talk about it.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, listeners. We're here to talk about The Room, Minute 60, in which Mark tries to kill Peter, and Peter immediately gets over it. We are still on the roof, of course. Classic scene where, as Alice said on Wednesday...
Classic roof scene in the room?
Hi, Eric.
Classic.
Yes, classic. Oh, hi, Alice.
You're tearing me apart, Peter. Hi.
As Alice pointed out last minute, this is basically the second half of the PSA on why you shouldn't smoke, because you might you might just try to kill your best friend are they even friends? I don't know. Why is Peter friends with these people? This is why I assume they all just live in the building, because why else would these people be friends? How does Johnny know Peter? How do they know Mark? I don't get these people.
No, Mark's a stud. He's a loner. He's a James Dean, as I was talking to you on the last minute.
he parks his car that he lives in, or his trailer that he lives in, right outside their building, so that's how they know him. But I don't know why they know Peter. See, that's why, given that one of the working titles for this, as they were casting anyway, was The Neighbors, and then Tommy's next thing he did was The Neighbors, I imagine all of these people are supposed to just live in the building, and that's why they're friends. And then it at least makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard the idea that, the idea of proximity being a way that people make friends. I mean, it's the reason for some people being friends with each other. Otherwise, they would never have become friends otherwise.
Right.
They are just too different.
And I think it's something that Tommy Wiseau would have thought was very, was a good thing. It's like, you live next to people, they're your neighbors, you become friends with them, you take care of each other. Which is kind of the premise for The Neighbors, but The Neighbors is awful because it's like this without any of the charm, and it makes sense then why Peter is a friend and why Stephen later is there and why any of these people even know each other, because we've seen Tommy walk around. He works across town in a bank, so he doesn't know these people from work, and they're coming by his place. So
Obviously, they all met in college.
Well, also there's a chance that Michelle and Lisa know each other from college.
Yeah.
And we know Mike and Michelle know each other from college because they were studying, air quotes, studying, but they did have school books. They're supposed to be college students. From Philip Haldeman's comic, we know that Denny is a student currently. Mark, I don't know. Greg Sestero likes to think that Mark is an undercover cop. I don't think that fits. But then maybe I don't even know if this is a nice building in San Francisco. Everything in San Francisco is expensive, so who knows?
Yeah, the scenery is like, man, they live in like a oil refinery town. Like, where are they living? The scenery is disgusting.
When they did their actual on-location shots on the roof of Tommy's building in San Francisco, it was a very overcast, smoggy day, and it's very gray. You'd think he would have waited for a nicer day to get all those shots. But I guess he had to do it that day to save money because they were there.
This movie must take place in the apocalypse. That's what it is.
So we left off last time. Mark was telling Peter that he feels like killing himself. And Peter blamed it on the smoking.
Why are you smoking that crap? It's no wonder you can think straight. It's gonna screw with your head.
And Peter it takes him, I forget what second it is in the minute that he actually tries to push Peter, or Mark tries to push Peter off the building. But Peter walks over and stands right behind Mark, and it's like, I don't know what you're doing, dude. It's like he's trying to be really forceful about it. They're framing it very strange. And we can also see now where the roof is very small. I think it's smaller across than the apartment is. So they're in a confined space with walls, one exit that you will survive. And Peter's getting too close.
Yeah, there's definitely this one shot like in the 35 to 38-ish or so, where, you can see three of the walls here.
Yeah.
That is so tiny.
It's a tiny little thing.
But,
And for filming, they only had 3 of those walls. They would just move them around and then put the little outhouse thing up there for the stairs when they would needed that corner.
Oh, yeah.
Very basic setting out in the parking of Burns and Sawyer.
There is this one part where Peter calls, or, he says blah blah blah, kid.
Who do you think you are? You're acting like a kid. Just grow up.
He's referencing, he's calling Mark a kid.
Yeah, it says you're acting like a kid. Just
and Mark surely takes great umbrage at that.
Well, that's where I put in my notes.
Not a lot older than them, but I mean, he's not in his 20s guy. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know about his character, maybe.
Yeah, maybe the character is supposed to be a bit older, but
I don't know how old Kyle Vogt is.
I think actor-wise, they're probably.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, not obviously to Johnny, but Johnny and Mark are vastly different ages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Outside of Carolyn Minot and Tommy Wiseau, all of the actors are around the same age.
Yeah, it is weird how they can make it look really like a big, vast roof, and then, now I'm looking at, you can see the 3 walls. You're like, wait, how did they, in the previous minute, they make it look so, I guess so big, where he just kind of can go and there's a little patio section, like a little, table, poor excuse for a table, and chairs, and then you can just sit there. So, that is really weird how they kind of opened that up.
And they could have kept it looking big just by not going to that 3rd wall. Go to the one behind the chairs.
But where did they film him being almost pushed over the building? Because that looks like a green screen of random blue sky, clouds. I don't that looked like we were transported to something weird.
No, that one I think might actually be the sky. They may have just pointed the camera up in the parking lot.
Yeah, I don't think they got green screens, but I was
or it could have been more because their blue screen footage is, their green screen footage is not very clear.
Yeah, so it's a shock to have look, beautiful blue sky with the clouds, and he's like...
It's clearing in the clouds directly
opened up for him, and then... I guess, was he on his knees? It was obvious he was not that far over. It was oh no, but no, he was not that far over the ledge.
No. And we've seen the wall.
Yeah.
The way he's on
no
it,
danger.
He wasn't about to fall off.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why he gets over it so quickly is, it gets weird.
It's just Mark, Peter feels okay, maybe Mark was just trying to scare me. He wasn't really going to do it.
Yeah.
Is that the thinking?
Yeah.
He must have had.
Well, and it's just the dope talking anyway. Yeah. The dope didn't know to push him far enough to fall. Or maybe the dope pushed him, but Peter pulled him back.
He wasn't dangling him. It was, just, that would have amped it up more. No, I'm gonna push you off, just hold you by the legs. Nope, that's fine.
That would take an actual stunt team.
Yeah.
Or legal problems, and Tommy wasn't going to
That's one of the standout scenes from A Fish Called Wanda, when Kevin Kline is holding John Cleese out the window.
I need to see that.
By his ankles. Just hanging straight upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter says,
"What are you, nuts? God!"
So isn't that a bad thing for a psychologist to say?
Oh, yeah.
that word shouldn't even be anywhere near his vocabulary.
Oh, no.
Not even when it comes to, getting your snack on the plane.
What are you, nuts?
Yeah,
just give me the snack. That bag of,
It's a minute ago he was like, you look depressed. Tell me about your problems. And I was like, what are you, nuts? You need to work on your terminology, Mr. Psychiatrist.
My line of work, you meet some real wackos.
You call your patients wackos?
Yeah, they like it.
Although I don't know, after you're dangled over a building, I don't know what the appropriate thing would be to say. I just imagine, just go the other way and be like, excuse me, sir.
Pardon me, sir?
Yeah.
Just be very clear about it. You are proving that I am correct that you are having problems, Mark.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about this. Be very calm, even though you're upside down. That's, of course, after Mark does push him because he says...
You're having an affair with Lisa, aren't you?
Peter has put all of this together because he's a genius. It's too bad he's going to die. So Peter fights back and pushes Mark away, and then, the what are you nuts? And we get what I, in my notes, called the most heartfelt apology in film history. When Mark says...
Sorry, man, you okay?
Because that's how you apologize for almost killing someone. Then I put in my notes, Peter should just call the cops, because we know from earlier roof scenes the police station is 1 floor down. It's right there. So you just call them up, they'll take Mark out of here. He'll go to jail.
Calm down, he's going to jail!
And everything's solved. But Peter, being the professional he is, goes from what are you nuts to...
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just talk about your problem.
Good friend.
So, good for Peter. And he gestures to the chairs, because, you gotta sit down for your therapy session. But Mark, because he is a child on dope, just kicks the table. He's got rage problems.
Yeah, the table,
don't get
he
to-
kicks the top off the table, really, is, it's
Yeah.
pretty, loosely held, which is odd for up on a roof.
Mhm.
You should probably have a more substantial table where the top of it couldn't fly off with a good breeze.
We don't get to Mark's admission that, he's having an affair with Lisa until next minute. But he does turn back around as if he might be about to talk to Peter at the end of this one. Now, in Notes from a Midnight Screening.
Notes from a Midnight Screening.
When Mark says, "It's none of your business, man," someone screams, "Fuck off, Peter." When shit starts to get real, people are screaming at Mark and screaming Mark's name. It's kind of confusing whether they're cheering him on or being horrified by Mark. I'm not sure. "You're having an affair with Lisa, aren't you?" The audience says what before Mark does? Because they're shocked. They're like, "Wait, Mark's having an affair with Lisa?"
I know. I was trying to remember if that was the issue here, if it was something else that I wasn't remembering, like why he was so depressed.
It's because, he's having an affair with his best friend's fiance. Or no, his best friend's future wife.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry, they never used the word fiance in this movie. Because that's foreign.
Foreign.
You don't even want to use foreign words.
Well, Tommy has to stay away from anything foreign because he himself really is foreign, but he doesn't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
Well, especially, like French or not that that's Cajun, but we would think that he's a New Orleans boy.
Well, even in New Orleans, he'd probably know some French. Yeah, right. And it's not like fiance is a fancy word.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, you can't use fiance, but blow his cover.
And when Peter says, "Yeah, I'm fine, let's just talk about your problems," someone's like, "He just tried to kill you." But Peter is better than the audience in that he gets over it and moves on. Any other notes on minute, 60? Oh, we're an hour in. Yeah. We're like halfway. This movie's too long.
This could have been a short YouTube show, yeah.
It will be a lot shorter when I'm done with it. There are whole subplots you can just cut. It may be one of the greatest scenes, but the drug dealer might not be in my version of this movie. Because that scene doesn't add anything to everything else of the movie. And you could cut this scene, probably. It doesn't matter if Peter figures this shit out.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
But it is Friday.
It's Friday.
I know it. It all sounds like some bad movie.
So we do have other business.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I have is a movie that a friend thought was pretty bad, and so bad that he walked out of it. We're there watching it together. So it was it was half hour, maybe 45 minutes at the most. And you have a good 2.5 hour, I think, long movie. I think Phantom Thread.
Oh.
Now this is by a great director.
Yeah.
It's
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, right. I love his There Will Be Blood and The Master. But, and this one I haven't gone back to it myself, but I really would like to. I should soon, since that one viewing in the theater. But, and my buddy, he's just like, I get enough of this at home. It's all, all my buddy could focus on, but it's most of what the movie up to that point was focused on was this dressmaking stuff.
Yeah.
And so my buddy's wife, is just as much, I guess she's into that kind of stuff. That's certainly not a profession, but maybe more of a hobby. So he just gets enough of that. So he figured it was going to keep up, which it really does make a pretty good turn away from it. I think halfway through, if I remember right.
Oh yeah. And the movie is so much more going on, and but it's also a very slow movie. So if you don't like that element, you're going to have a lot of it early on. And
there's no big action scenes. That's for sure.
Oh no. Although there is poisoning. Yeah. Spoilers.
There is deception stuff, good.
Yeah. No action scenes. No chase scenes. Of course, The Room doesn't have any action or chase scenes either. We just had the biggest action scene in the whole film, I think. We do get a little running later, but it's jogging. It's slow.
I was like, that's where the budget went.
Mm-hmm. It's getting that bright sky for that one shot.
Yeah.
Mark's epiphany. The sky opened up above him. Alice, how about you? Did you come up with any?
So I did talk about this movie actually on another podcast called Soiled Restroom Cinema, and it was Dark Phoenix from 2019. Yeah, and it was not good. It was just not, I mean, I'll say these superhero movies are not, well, I mean, as a genre is not necessarily my favorite, but there are a lot that I liked. I mean, took a couple tries to see Watchmen, and there were some that I liked, and I love Marvel movies normally. But yeah, Dark Phoenix, it just did not work for me. There wasn't a very good story. The acting was very wooden, which was unfortunate. Yeah, just not really a fan.
I think it's definitely a worse film. Phantom Thread, I don't know if many people would say it's a bad movie, but I could see why someone might get bored and walk out, or might get annoyed with some of the image. Like if you see dressmaking all the time, you might not want to watch it. Dark Phoenix there's scenes in it that are good, and overall I like that they were trying to do the Dark Phoenix story again, but it was like they didn't know what movie they wanted to do, and it doesn't fit. None of the parts fit together very well in that movie.
Yeah, creepy in a bad way.
Now, my idea of a bad movie to talk about this week is more of a classic bad movie.
Yeah.
Then this morning I had this weird flashback where I think I might have already talked about it on this show. And I'm looking through the old tweets to see if it was a bad movie of the week before, and I don't see it. So just in case I didn't, I would like to recommend it maybe again, but if not for the first time, Hollywood Cop by director Amir Shervan. Which, if you know bad movies, you know that guy's name. He is also the director of Samurai Cop. I believe he did not direct Samurai Cop 2, in which Tommy Wiseau plays the villain. But that movie sucks. That movie's not even a good bad movie. That movie's just bad. Samurai Cop is good. We've talked about that on this show. Hollywood Cop is his earlier film where he was sort of trying to figure out the beats of the story that was going to become Samurai Cop.
Is that Hollywood Cop? Is that the one with Harrison Ford?
No, that's Hollywood Homicide.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
That's later. They make a joke about that on Best of the Worst when they talk about Hollywood Cop. They make a joke about that by putting out the Hollywood Homicide DVD first, as if Harrison Ford's in the movie they're going to talk about. No, it stars, I mean, if you know bad movies, it has Cameron Mitchell in there as the chief of police who always needs his Tums because everyone gives him stress. Your main character is a cop named Turk or Turkey, and his partner, who are tasked with finding a woman's kidnapped son and get randomly sidetracked by mud wrestling at one point and easily distracted by odd things. But there's a great little subplot I love in the middle where we're following the kid where he's being held and they have a dog guarding him outside the room. And the dog barks, and the kid just starts talking to him. He's like, I know you're kidding. He's like, you're not angry. You're just a dog. You're nice. And you get, it's like this weirdly cute thing in the middle of this movie where the kid's becoming friends with I think it's a Doberman that's guarding him. And you think, oh, the dog's gonna free him somehow. It doesn't, but you think it's gonna go there. And it would have been better if it went there. Better director probably would have gone there. It's similar to Samurai Cop. If you like Samurai Cop, you'd probably appreciate Hollywood Cop. Cause, ends with stupid violence and weird bad guys, bad acting through most of it, really bad dialogue, but it's super entertaining. So I would recommend this. And also his, Amir Shervan's Killing American Style. I don't need to talk about that separately, but that one's pretty good too. I need to watch his other ones. He's got 2 others that I haven't seen. So that's mine. Now, one more time. Eric, if the listeners want to hear more from you.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Watchmen Minute, Almost Famous Minute, and Feels Like Weezer. And then you can also find me on Twitter at Lucky Mustard and Instagram at Lucky Mustardine, just add the ING. And, hey, we're all a big part of this Movies by Minutes network as well. I'm sure you'll talk more about that.
Oh yeah, there's something like 140 some now?
Well, I think we've just surpassed the 150.
Oh, did we?
But, moviesbyminutes.com. Check all those out. Yeah.
And Alice, where can they hear from you?
Yeah, so my Twitter is at Allie Mej, and my Facebook is Alice Lauren. Make sure you message me, let me know where you heard me, and we can definitely chat about movies and podcasts and all that cool stuff.
So there's nothing wrong when people make fun of the project, in this case, The Room.
The Room Minute is a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find more content at lemmingdrops.com.
Follow The Room Minute on all the obvious social media. If you've got any stupid comments after the show,
you can leave them in your pocket on Facebook. If you like what you hear, throw us a rating and a review on your podcatcher of choice. Thank you for listening, and remember, if a lot of people loved each other, the world would be a better place to live.
Leave us!
Apologize.
All right, I apologize.
You're really sorry?
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly.
You take it back?
I do. I offer a complete and utter retraction. The imputation was totally without basis in fact and was in no way fair comment and was motivated purely by malice. And I deeply regret any distress that my comments may have caused you or your family. And I hereby undertake not to repeat any such slander at any time in the future.